What do you have in common with Stephen King, with Agatha Christie, or with any other of the big authors that you know? Probably you'd say that nothing, because after all, you're a leader in the corporate world, so you're not about writing books, and you're certainly not that creative as those big authors are. But I beg you to differ, because in my opinion, what you have in common is that you are as well one of the greatest storytellers there is. Now, you probably spontaneously will think that no way I am a storyteller, because I work with numbers, I work with facts, I create slides, I talk to my people, I lead a business. Sometimes I have to be visionary, but telling stories, no. What I want you to look at this moment is your mind. Take a moment to observe the many thoughts that simply come up, even now just when you were listening to me. There was an immediate reaction, something that would just pop up, a story that your mind would tell you, and you would just go with it. And can you admit, or can you decide whether you actively decided to think these thoughts, or whether these thoughts and stories, right this very moment as well, just pop up in your mind? Who makes that decision? Think about another situation. When you wake up in the morning, the first few seconds, most likely you feel that sense of a good night's sleep and you're looking forward to the day ahead. And then all of a sudden, the first mind stories will pop up. These are thoughts of disasters, thoughts of all the things that could go wrong at work, all the many deadlines that you still need to meet, projects that are unfinished, maybe difficult conversations that you're going to have, or your difficult boss. And now, how does that day ahead feel to you? What emotions come up? That sense of excitement likely is gone, so it's being replaced with a sense of anxiety, frustration, anger, sadness, maybe even questioning what this life truly is about, because why should life only be about work and about difficult things? And see, at that moment again, you're caught with a story that your mind has made up. Because yes, there might be projects that are unfinished, there might be people that you meet that talk about challenging topics or about challenging problems. But not all the thoughts that your mind is telling you at that moment are true. A lot of these things are just stories that are made up. And a lot of these things have to do with the conditioning, with the way you're being brought up. An example could be in school, how all of us are taught that you need to deliver hard work to get a good grade. And if you don't manage that, then you will be a failure. Success only is possible if the teacher says to you, well done. But then you also have these moments where you either take a music class or maybe you go to sports and then someone tells you, I think you are not that talented. You take that very seriously, and it might be with you all your life. And that's where you find yourself maybe in a business situation where someone says to you, why don't you think outside the box? And then you suddenly think that, well, but I'm not that talented. I'm not that creative. That creative talent was given to someone else. And here, again, you find yourself with a story that you accepted as being true. A story that partially was made up by yourself, by your mind, by the ego. A story that was also accompanied by comments that someone made, and probably subconsciously and probably never meant to hurt you, but it sticks with you. Isn't it funny how, and this is something that I heard in a workshop yesterday, humans are the only beings that wake up in the morning and they believe that they have to improve themselves. You believe in the morning when you wake up that there is something that isn't perfect, that there is something that isn't good enough about you. So you go on a non-stop chase to become a better version of yourself, trying to find solutions to problems that aren't truly problems. And this non-stop chase becomes exhausting. How can you make sure that you don't believe all of your stories, all of the thoughts that you have? And how can you make sure, and I think that's the most important point, that you can lead a happier life, that you can have more peace of mind, that you know that your happiness and that inner calm is not dependent on any external validation, but it's right there with you, right this very moment. To me, the biggest shift always happened once I realized that I could simply observe my thoughts. If you put yourself in a position where you simply say, look, I observe my thoughts, then you get to that place where you realize, where did that thought come from? Did I really think that consciously? Is that really what's happening in my life, or could it just be a simple story? So try to look at your thoughts the same way you look at a cloud that covers the sun on a sunny sky. The cloud will come, but the cloud will also disappear. And behind that cloud, there is always sunshine or always a blue sky. And you basically are that blue sky. The same way that all these negative thoughts or thoughts of anxiety or drama or catastrophe that you might have in the early morning, they are not you. You are that blue sky, and that's maybe an analogy that you can start working with when you're interested in finding that calm, grounded place of happiness, of peace of mind. When you want to understand that maybe you are not just a human, but maybe you are the universe having a human experience, because that might change everything. One way you can go about this is simply by starting to observe your thoughts. And if to give you just one more helpful tool, whenever you have a moment where you feel truly stressed, reframe it from telling yourself, I am stressed, to telling yourself, this situation makes me feel stressed. And you can even continue one more step by telling yourself, oh, I think that this situation makes me feel stressed. And that's a great way to start observing your thoughts. And I can tell you, once you do that repeatedly, it truly has the power to change everything and to change the way you think about and the way you see your life, but also work. Give it a try. Let me know how that goes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. See you soon again.